IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach.
Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
Hey, welcome to the show. Hope everyone's doing well out there. DP, Harrison, what's up? What's good with y'all? Y'all
doing good now.
Recouping?
Yeah, no, we're done with the recouping. Now I'm fully 100% again.
Oh man,
you did the thing. Before we get started, 2 things. First of all, folks, you can text in. It is a live show. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. All the video streams are up. Again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. If you want to follow what we're doing. And then I need 30 seconds with Harrison before we get into the show.
No problem.
Harrison I put a lot on Harrison to handle. Without Harrison, I don't get any sleep.
Right.
Because all the student shows where they have to learn and be trained and mentored and monitored, Harrison allows me some respite that I can just hand it over to him. And he will keep them on air, on time, proper messaging, and he'll answer questions. So every now and then I like to go into the goodie bag. And I know that he's a Hoops fan, and we've talked about the Bulls thing, but I needed to go another level for Harrison today. So,
man, I don't know. I got the Bulls jersey already.
Well, but I had to get you the real.
Oh, Lord.
I had to get you the real Mitchell and Ness joint.
Oh, nice.
Like, just an appreciation.
Yeah.
For the things that you do, for how you do it and who you are.
Nice.
Yeah, I just to get in to let you know, young man, you are appreciated. You're a valuable member of the team, and I have to say so in many ways. But this one, I wanted to get you the off-white. Yeah,
that is clean. Right there.
The off-white. Yeah,
they didn't wear those a whole lot.
I know. I actually had to call a buddy to get that one.
Well, I appreciate that, TJ. And yeah, man, I appreciate all the compliments. But again, it's just been awesome watching this thing grow. And yes, it is hard work, but at the same time, a lot of these student athletes, I mean, man, they make my job easy. You know, we had these shows and we just got the new one with Sammy and Sarah, gymnastics shows. And it's really great. It's just the people in Lincoln. Yes, there is some part getting them all set up and ready, but there's just a lot of great stories to tell. And, you know, a lot of what you're doing here is we just want to look at life of these student athletes. You know, if you don't have the narrative, it's not as interesting. It's kind of what I always argue why boxing kind of lost its momentum, right? People don't know the stories behind the boxers. Fighting and boxing is always an awesome sport, but if you don't know the stories, it's hard to get invested. And this right here, You get to look in these athletes' lives, and yeah, it's just hearing that, and you bring in a lot of great talent. It's just been awesome. So again, thank you for the jersey, add it to the collection, and we got the grand opening tomorrow at 6:00. I mean, this thing's moving, and again, I'm blessed to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see what comes down the road.
Nice, congratulations, Harris.
Appreciate it.
You earned that, sure. Sure.
Every
That's
weeknight when I first when I first took over, I was literally hosting every student athlete show.
Really?
And as a matter of fact, I think at the time my show was 8 to 10 in the morning. And I would stay at the station and do shows until 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and then do it again the next day. And it hit me this morning that once again, like I need to take a day off. And I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it because, well, I mean, you have to concede some things.
Yeah.
But at least I'm taking a piece of some nights off. And then I'll just take a day during the bye week. I'll take a day and I'll just shut down and turn my phone off.
Right. You got to do that.
Be the recovery. But how does that work for you? Because you've got several oars in the water,
Oh, yeah.
Several things of interest. How do you time manage and delegate so that you keep because you have to have a life too.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do you handle that?
Oh man, that's a great question. I do things like where I make sure I get 7-8 hours of sleep, so at least I can wake up and feel like I'm ready to do stuff. I have the energy to do things, and I'll say my favorite going to my well, like the fill my well type thing you're talking about. I fill my well with getting 7-8 hours of sleep. As soon as I wake up, I work out. I get either my Peloton mixed with weights or body weight movements, push-ups, burpees, stuff like that. So those two things right there. But the major thing is the workout after I wake up. And then if I have time, like I say on the weekend, my time is obviously right now is where I could spend time playing video games, literally. So I'm coaching it all week long.
Gotta know.
I'm coaching it all week long. So I'm playing these games too. And it's like, oh man, I can't wait to get on Halo, or I can't wait to get on Valorant to run some rounds, on my own or with the kids as well. So watching them, critiquing them, giving them advice, giving them information so they can, get through practice. We had Valorant practice last night, talked through some situations there among the players, teamwork wise, and that is pretty much, that was 2-3 times last week, Valorant, Overwatch, and I'm trying to think, I say a couple weeks ago, Call of Duty. So yeah, so I make sure in a week, I obviously get most sleep I can get. I make sure I work out at least 3-4 days a week. I say 3 to 5 days a week, and then on the weekends give my time. My time is sitting on the Xbox, sitting on the PlayStation, sitting on the PC, and not doing nothing but game.
Is there a game? Does each game have its own emotional thing that you go to it for?
100%.
Like days when you need to vent, some days you need to be cerebral.
I don't
some days that you.
I say I don't have a whole lot of vent days, which is good.
Yeah,
because I'm a positive thinker.
Yeah,
I learned this since being a kid, and through a lot of stuff I've been through in my life. So I just learned always look to the brighter side, no matter what. And so not a whole lot of venting days of gaming, but I'll say more. But there is an emotional part of it where, like, oh my God, is one thinking about when I was a kid and processing and taking my mom's advice or my dad's advice, like you got a couple hours and you got to go outside. You got to go, circulation around your body, touch grass, stuff like that. So I kind of remember that. And so I'll play a couple of games in a session and then move on and then probably go outside, walk around the neighborhood and come back in, do it, walk around my neighborhood over in Capitol Beach. So yeah.
There's a thing you said in that tells me that you got family from down south.
Oh yeah.
Getting your feet in the grass.
Oh yeah.
That is such a down south family thing passed along. Give folks the details on that.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad was from New Orleans.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know it was a Southern thing.
Yeah. Oh, well,
yeah. I've never heard that.
It's like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Atlanta, Louisiana. Those are the ones that mainly will speak to that. We reconnect to the earth, and we have to remove the space between us and the earth, and that's how we reconnect and regenerate.
Yep.
And that stress leaves your body when you connect with the earth because the natural magnetism takes over.
Yeah, I mean,
so you see the thing of people just saying once a day, just put your toes in the grass and wiggle them and then watch things disappear.
stresses you don't realize that are on you. Flake away. And so myself, and I'm trying to get my wife on that same routine, because when you don't decompress from your day or a week, and especially if you have a busy week or a hellacious week of whatever, you got to do it. Even if it's an hour, 30 minutes, or 5 minutes, find time in the day, because we find time for everything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
We find time for social media, we find time for other people. But some people like myself, I like to help out everybody, because that's part of my job, being a coach and trying to give information. I'm a teacher, so I'm developing young human beings. Not in the class, in the classroom, but in the gaming space as well. And so sometimes I got to make sure, that is what I've been getting good at in the last, I say, since I started coaching and really college coaching. So in the last 4 years, getting really good at cutting out the time for me and my gaming time, my workout time, my movie time. This is the month where I watch one horror movie a night, because I love horror movies so much. So it's October horror movie month in my household.
Yeah.
And me and my wife, she's a horror fan now. It took her we've been married 17 years, probably took her almost the whole 17 years, probably about 15 years. So the last 2 years, she's been a trooper. She's
what's the go-to?
Oh, go-tos? Oh.
But what are the go-tos? Give me your top 5.
Top 5. I'll start with a sci-fi horror.
Okay.
Aliens with Sigourney Weaver.
So love that.
1988. Saw it at the drive-in theater.
Get him, Sigourney.
Oh my God, I love how she goes ham on the aliens at the end trying to save Newt, the little girl she found on the ship.
Ahead of its time too.
Oh my God,
the way those aliens, that is
and it
way
still holds up.
Yeah.
It still holds up.
You watch it right now, it's like, oh my God. So Aliens, and then just for nostalgia's sake, because I was a kid, one of my first vampire movies was Fright Night with Charlie Brewster.
Very well done.
That is,
hey Charlie.
Yeah, very well done.
And then Night of the Living Dead. The older
Which
one.
version? Okay, older version.
It was like, it was the 80s one.
Okay.
The one came out in the 80s. I remember seeing that. Then my dad was like, all right, if you want to watch some old school horror, he brought out the old one. We went to this is when VHS was Blockbuster, before Blockbuster, when it was the neighborhoods had their mom and pop rental store.
Oh, you had to go, yeah.
And so we went to a mom and pop store, picked up Night of the Living Dead, like the 60s one, black and white.
Yes.
And I was like, kind of laughing at it because of the graphics were all bad. The blood was weird.
Yeah.
You didn't know, but and the zombies weren't scary to me. The one in the 80s was, so it was interesting. So that's 3. And then I would have to say paranormal wise, the new ones in the last 10 years, the Conjuring series has been pretty impressive, but I like to stick with the old school again. Exorcist, the original. That one, classic. Classic Exorcist.
Come on.
I enjoy
it. Was made in the neighborhood. It was made in my hood. Like those stairs, we used to have to run those stairs. For baseball practice, football practice, we had to run those stairs in Georgetown.
Seriously?
Wow.
You had to run the Exorcist stairs.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, if I was at Georgetown for any sport, knowing I had to run, I'm like, hey man, hold up, time out. We really got to run these stairs.
We had to run.
He died on these stairs, right?
Yeah.
They were like, hey, I'm gonna get that out of your head. It's a movie. I'm like,
but that was the part of the training was. You can't stop on those stairs, bro.
That is the motivation right there.
Serious motivation. Serious motivation. And one more, I would have to say, I'll go slasher now.
Okay.
My top slasher, the OG Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th. And I would say the early ones, that's 2 about Jason Goes to Manhattan. That's where I still watch them, but that's where they were starting to go off the path of a good slasher movie.
No Halloween.
Yeah, that's probably number 6.
Jamie Lee did the dang thing.
Yeah,
and
I'll say that's a 6 right there, right behind Jason, and then Freddy is right after that. So top 10 in there. Yep, because like Freddy, first 3 were perfect, were good. But then number 4 and then 5 and 6 were like way off in left field, literally.
Jaws was in my top 5 until about 8 years ago.
With
when the technology started to catch up and you could actually see the fish, you see the shark. Before that, like all the way up to the 2010, you could still watch it and go, oh, yeah, that's a shark. But then everything else caught up. And it's like, bro, that ain't no shark.
That one didn't age gracefully.
Yeah.
I mean, but
still impressive.
Again, in the 70s.
In the 70s, that was great. And then I was a kid. Like I said, I grew up in Los Angeles, so I went to Universal. So 2, when I saw Jaws on the tour guide, I was just like, oh, I'm sitting there. I was like,
Plastic
so
shark.
When I saw the movie, I was like, Dad, that it looked just like what we saw at the tour.
Where does The Shining sit for you? Because that one I never.
Very good.
Yeah,
And that's another dark horse one. I mean, it's up there. It's probably right after. I might have to sub if I wasn't to sub one in or one of the top 5. I would sub it in probably for not The Exorcist. Probably Jason.
Okay.
Because Shining, Jack Nicholson, between his acting, Shelley Duvall, the young kid.
Shelley was so good.
I mean, the writing, to have the writing and then having the mindset of how are they, appearing the ghosts and introducing the ghosts to the actors, where they wasn't sure what they were seeing. It's like, am I really seeing this, or is this, or just I'm just half woke or whatever?
Let me give you some. Just give me on a scale. So those are your 9s and 10s, right?
Yeah.
Where do you put Silence of the Lambs?
I see that one wasn't. It's more psychological horror.
Okay.
So I say it's just messed up because of how intelligent Hannibal Lecter is.
Right.
And what he can do with his words and with what he learned how to basically kill people. How to drug them, how to convince them and trick them in their mind. If they're a weak-minded person, how he could get in and all of a sudden they're doing something they didn't think they were going to do because they're so weak-minded. Right. So that was the scary part that was scary about Hannibal Lecter. It's like he's in jail. Most of these people, he didn't even have to, it was 1 or 2 people he killed without touching them.
Yeah, he was whispering to him like 2 cells away.
Right.
And dude was like, okay, whatever he said, I'm out.
Right. I'm like, that's impressive. So Anthony Hopkins, great actor. So it's tough, man.
Ring.
It's always The Ring in terms of a fright fest.
Yeah,
that's up there. I mean, you got to have. I can't remember the girl's name, but when she starts creeping up out of the well, that's the one that my wife can't do. Like my wife's
The Ring?
Yeah, The Ring or any ghost or paranormal, because she's Italian, grew up in the church. So anything like that,
it's a crossover.
It's a possession movie. Like Exorcist 2 is coming out Friday. She's like, you can have that on your own. I don't want none of that.
All right.
She's like, I don't want none of that. You can have that. Go ahead, enjoy it. Let me know after the end, because she's like, nah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's another high. That's right up there.
That's high on the list, right?
I could sub out probably Alien for that one, because it was like, I mean, and then once I did some history on it or research on it, I found out, and you might know
the real town.
The real town is
drove through it.
It's in Wisconsin.
Drove through it.
It's not on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And so also with Amityville Horror
and Children of the Corn,
it's not on the East Coast. It's in Wisconsin. These towns, and people. When I tell people that, they were like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just couldn't." When I found out, I remember the town, but right now I can't. But
a lot of those are in Texas too.
Yeah.
So when we were in Houston, we would drive like from Houston to Dallas, and you would drive through these horror movie towns, and all you had to do was Google the town that you like would show up on the sign.
Yeah.
And then there's some movie would pop up about some weirdo that lived there, and you just go, okay, it.
Ooh, so remember, I tell the kids today, it was a TV series that came on every Halloween. I don't know if you knew this.
No, I didn't know this.
So during this time of year, the week before Halloween, they would air, because obviously you didn't know if it was going to be a full week in terms of Halloween being on Monday or Tuesday. So that means sometimes they basically did it the week before Halloween, and it was a 4-day miniseries. So it started on Monday, end on Thursday, and so the movie, the first is basically the first 2 episodes. The last 2 episodes is part 2, where they're adults.
Okay.
And having to come back to Derry and deal with the clown and the monster, alien, or whatever he is. And that one, and like by the time that was probably like 8, 9, between 8, 9, 10. And it wasn't really no movie by that time that shook me, because I think I told you the story, but if not, I told you a story how my brothers and sister indoctrinated me into horror movies. So mom worked the bus line up in Omaha at night. And so she usually got home around 8 or 9 o'clock, and I'm 2 or 3 years old. I should be in bed, but I'm not. I'm up. And so, but my brothers and sisters, they're all teenagers in between 15 and 18. watching me. These three have taken 3 to watch me, which is not hard. But what they decided to do is one night, I guess I don't know what I must have been being a kid, messing around. But they're like, all right, we're gonna settle you down. So they put me on the couch in front of the TV and had Friday the 13th Part 2. This is the one where Part 2 where it's still Part 1 where it's still Jason's mom. No, Jason's mom. No, I'm sorry, it's Part 2. Jason's mom has been killed. It's just she had her head on that table.
Okay.
Where the room he was going back to, the shack he was going back to, and it was like watching that. I remember right at the end when he comes through, he has the one eye and the potato bag that's on his head, and yeah. So I'm like 3 years old seeing this. Of course, I did not move off that couch.
Nope. Nope.
I did because I'm like, this dude might be right behind this couch. That's what I'm thinking in my head. And of course, my mom was like, what's wrong with this baby? Why this baby can't get on the couch? And then from then on, I was like, is that as scared I'm going to get? I was like, all right, bring it on, And then after that, that's how I grew into it. Because my kids, I got my daughters, I got 4 daughters, and most of the 4, I'll say 3 out of 4 of them are definitely in the horror movies because of me. And we do it now as they're older now. We go on there like Sports Center. We're breaking it down.
See?
We're like, the writing's terrible. The dialogue from these actors, they're not doing the timing right. The special effects is just trash. We're just breaking it down. Nothing scares.
That needs to be its own segment on Ahman's show. Like one day, like Monday could be video game review.
Right.
Tuesday could be movies. Wednesday could be games of the past. And
retro games.
Right. Like through all of this. Poltergeist.
Oh. That's it. I mean, they're here.
I mean, it's so good.
It's very good. Like that one stood the test of time. Even like they try to remake it.
Yeah.
The remake's worse.
It was terrible. I was not happy with that.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. But the original 1, 2, and 3, where they were in Chicago.
Yep.
Where they had they were at the uncle and auntie's house or condo or apartment in the basically the Sears Tower that they remodeled, make it look like it wasn't the Sears Tower, but it was. And just all this the timing of the jump scares in Poltergeist from 1, 2, and 3, the writing. I mean, like in Part 2, the old man from the desert. That skull. I mean, okay.
I'm still dealing with that.
It's still
I'm still dealing with
2 horror characters that have me shook up until my mid-30s. Was the tall man that was in the desert.
Yep.
That allowed his whole church to die along with him in the cave, and then Freddy Krueger. It was something about Freddy.
No, say his name 3 times.
What, Candyman?
Candyman. Candyman was the one.
That was another good one.
Because it was just great, stop it, man. Like, stop messing with me.
You see the new one, though?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I
was
thought
it Jordan Peele directed it or rewrote it?
Right,
or
anything that he's touching now that's scary.
He's Midas for horror films. Nope. Get Out.
Get Out is a masterpiece.
Yes.
It's like you can watch Get Out 10 times in a row and you won't get it. Like it'll be a different thing that kind of latches you.
Oh yeah.
That you went, yeah, but I've seen this 9 times and it hit me different that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so layered that you never get all of it at once.
Yeah, because he does that. Like ever since that one, Us, and then Nope.
Nope was
there's so many.
Nope snuck up on me.
So many things he's doing to you when you're watching it. Because of course the first scene you see is this. It's this talk show setting, and you see this chimpanzee with blood everywhere, and everybody's like hiding behind the seats. And then it cuts away. And of course, if you don't really understand writing and setup and foreshadowing in a movie, like my always like, what the hell was that all about?
It's coming.
I'm like, babe,
it's coming.
It's setting you up for
it's coming.
So they're gonna right now. So they showed it in the first 5 minutes, 2 minutes of the start of the film. So that means later on in the film, they're gonna take a moment to say, okay, now this is you remember what happened at the beginning? Now this is what happened. And then show you all the cutaways and all that. So I was like, oh, I love this.
I got one more for you before we go to break.
Okay.
And this was filmed in Maryland. And
East Coast.
And the question was whether this was real or not. And people went to the location of the film just to see what it was. And the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah.
Because at the time, before the internet,
it was right around internet.
Right, like
they
could spin 30 stories about these people, And we were, look.
You see this right here? You go finish your story, and then I'm gonna tell you what happened.
We went up. So we actually
that.
went to the two sites where this was supposed to happen.
Right.
And we wanted to know. And these idiot friends of mine decided to go at night, which was when I,
of course, now, I would have done that.
Which is when, yeah, but this is me at the hotel. Y'all let me know whether y'all make it back or not, because I didn't think they was coming. So when they showed up back, I was like, I hugged them so hard. I was like, y'all made it.
That's
so
funny.
impressive.
That's funny.
So this is 99. Yeah.
I was in Seattle. At one of my left, Brandon, BT. He goes by BT. He was a senior year or senior year in high school. I have him move up with me in Seattle. And the movie comes out. He's like, oh, you want to go see it? I'm like, yeah, let's check it out. So we go see it. And I swear to God that when the scene of the girl, which they made fun of in other like spin-off horror comedies with like the Wayans brother, they did a scary movie.
Right in her face.
So the scene they recreated with her and her, they put all the all the snot was running out of her neck, so they redid that one. That scene right there, I literally was laughing like it was that time because I'm like, at that moment, I was like, what is going on? Why is this is not even scary anymore. It's funny. The only scary part, I think, was if it wasn't part one, it was maybe part two. We're saying once they went into the house, it was like the woman in the corner kind of.
Yes.
That part was new. Now that was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it was like, this is a B movie for me in terms of how I grade out.
But that's
movies.
why I enjoyed it, because it wasn't well done.
Yeah.
Right. It was supposed to be, like you said, from POV of just somebody going on a
like
trip.
Somebody found the video
of them going on a trip.
Right.
Investigating these haunted grounds on the East Coast in Maryland.
And we hadn't seen anything like somebody just putting, this is the video that was found.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
we don't know the particulars behind none of this. This is what we saw.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of people try to copy that, and it's a tough thing to do. Because I don't think I can really call one movie that did that well after.
Yeah.
And then real quick too, I saw all the actors on a Good Morning America.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I thought this would be true story stuff. I was like, oh, there they go. I said, oh man.
The text line's got a few. Yeah. There's some good stuff. We'll get to it when we get back.
All right.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
An entire week of celebrating Lincoln's craft brewers is just around the corner. October 2nd through the 8th is Lincoln Craft Beer Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer-week for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by Visit Lincoln. Remember to enjoy responsibly. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Ahman Green Show. I'm Harrison, running the ones and twos. We kind of just got off the last segment, realizing that Ahman is a massive horror fan. Him and the family break it down like ESPN.
Yes,
and you had a couple more that we want to sneak in here in that top 10 that we're talking about during the break. What were those additions?
Oh, shoot.
Well, here's the text line. So Husker Army says Phantasm 1 and 2.
Yes, classics.
Texter says The Saw.
Ooh.
OG says, what about Pet Cemetery?
That was a good one. Stephen King brings it.
Dr. Sleep. Nyla says
that was the prequel to The Shining with Ewan McGregor. So Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
He plays the son all grown up and comes across a girl that has the same powers as him, where he could see ghosts and all the stuff. Reason why he was seeing the ghost when he was in The Shining, in the hotel when he was a younger kid with Jack Nicholson in that one. So that was the connection.
And then, so we came up with Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser and Pinhead.
And Pinhead was deep in it.
Yeah.
And then we also hadn't gotten into its full on genre, which is vampire movies.
Yeah, I just pulled them up. Oh.
Right?
I say my go-to vampire movie that I'm gonna probably watch first when I do because I do retro day and I do new school day, of movies that are out there, of horror movies. So today is a retro day, so I might do this one since we're talking about it.
Okay.
Lost Boys.
So good. Great
Lost
casting.
Boys.
What year is that?
Great
casting.
1980. I was
10.
I was 10. 1987. Great Corey Feldman.
Oh.
Let me pull it up so I get all the actresses' names right.
While you're looking that up, Evil Dead. I forgot about that
Yep.
one. That's a great one.
So here's the cast for
It's a good one from the
Lost
text line.
Boys. You got Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep.
Jason Patrick, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Jenny Gertz, Brooke McCarter, excuse me, Alex Winter, Jameson,
who went on to be Ted.
Ted from Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
So that's where he one of his early films, if not one of his first films.
Right.
You know, Jason Patrick, he's been in, and Kiefer Sutherland, you know, he's been him and his dad.
Everything.
You know, his dad is Governor Snow in the Hunger Games.
Kiefer's everything.
And so, and then Corey Haim, you know, he passed away not too long ago, or Feldman, one of them passed away not too long ago.
They were both went through it. So I think it was
Yeah,
Haim that passed, and Feldman still around.
It's still one of them. We could check, right?
Yeah, it's still around. Here's one for you. Before we get back to vampires, Children of the Corn.
So that's Stephen King too, right?
Yeah, that's Stephen King. And see that
better
one,
written than the movie.
That's what. That's a lot of stuff.
Pet Cemetery. If you
That's
ever
a lot
read
of
that book, oh my lord.
And see, I haven't read the book yet.
That's
I've always watched the
must-read
movie.
horror movie. or
Okay,
horror book.
so it's Corey Haim that passed away. Corey
Okay.
Feldman is 52 years old right now.
Yep.
Still kicking, still doing his thing, which is awesome. See, Children of Corn, I just didn't see that until when did I actually see the original? I don't think I like fully finished it. It was probably I was definitely back here in Nebraska, and I probably was here in Lincoln. I think I was in school here, and one weekend went over to the Blockbuster Video that's right down the street where the J School is at, where that used to be it used to be a Blockbuster right there. Went and rented it, and I might have fell asleep on it. So me falling asleep on it, it just maybe was too slow in the beginning because that's where I was just young enough where I didn't understand that sometimes movies start slow to tell a story. I understand that now.
Yeah.
And I got to convince my wife before she throws something at the TV. Like, why is this movie so boring? I said, babe, sometimes movies start slow to really like kind of draw you in and introduce all the characters, you know, hit the setting, foreshadowing. They're doing all this stuff if it's because they know for them, they need to do a slow burn to then boom, when everything picks up in like another 30, 45 minutes of the movie when you might have a 2.5 hour horror movie. So you just got to be conscious of that. She's like, nah, this is boring. Why are we watching this movie?
Yeah, every girlfriend I ever had loved vampire movies. They don't like the slasher movies, but they love vampire movies. So we've romanticized. There was one with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, Interviewing a Vampire.
Yeah,
that was my mom and dad's favorite.
Yeah,
because of just kind of the whole atmosphere of it being like at the Revolution with them coming over
all
on the
the
boats
costumes
down in New Orleans, where I mentioned my dad is from.
Well, they were trying to tell you something.
You know, it was just interesting, right?
Vampire, Ahman, you might be from.
I don't know.
You know, you might be from the Brood, man.
No, it was my stepdad. it was my stepdad.
Okay.
But just interesting. And the vampire stories. I would ask my wife my question, and my daughters too, or my kid and my son too. We'll just jokingly, I was like, all right, if you had to pick one, you were going to get bit by one, vampire or werewolf.
Give me a werewolf for sure.
Werewolf.
Vampire. I would rather live. The werewolf don't care.
I'm with DP. I've always picked vampire because of the long. You know, they can basically see the dinosaurs come and go.
Yeah.
And just lay in the cut.
Yeah.
You know, they could have
werewolf, bro. You out there in the woods.
But you do live just as long.
Yeah,
you know?
but you're in the woods. Like I
think I'd go lock me in a cellar attempt.
I want my humanity at some point.
True.
Right. I want some of that.
But I bring this up for a werewolf. I say if I did pick werewolf and go for that, being around long enough, obviously you could be definitely well off financially because you just save money. You're living 100 years at a time on pop.
Yep.
Eventually, for a werewolf, like Harrison mentioned, build yourself the strongest titanium, whatever metal that you could build to keep a werewolf in, and know the lunar cycle.
That's my thought process.
You know the lunar cycle, then you know when to lock yourself up, sedate yourself, whatever you need to do. Put yourself in that, or have a partner, your wife, girlfriend, saying, "Hey, this is what you got to do on these days." Because if you don't,
but then you know that's how you're gonna get got, right? It's always your partner.
Well, you gotta trust him.
If
we're dealing a Stephen King movie or some other writer, they're gonna eventually put the fix in on you.
It's always somebody
where your partner turns you in, or
I'm not getting you, but I'm gonna get you.
Right. So if we're doing it in the movie setting, you gotta watch it back.
Plus, it's a brood. So if there's several wives that keep reproducing and keep creating and keep feeding you, then ultimately at some point whoa, wait a minute.
Are we going like old school vampires though? Because I mean, you guys are gonna have a hell of a
Bela
time
Lugosi,
with
like,
anything garlic. It's just gonna be exposed.
Yeah, I mean, but daylight. Okay, you mean I get to sleep all day?
Yeah,
That's true.
that's easy.
Like, and I just get to walk
That's
the
not
streets
my
and
worst
watch.
problem.
Right, like you get to watch all the freaks at night.
Right.
You're the king of the freaks. You're just like, okay, what we doing? And you're always immaculately dressed. I've never seen a vampire.
Smooth, yeah.
Like they were all super smooth.
You got to do something to hide the pastiness.
Underworld, they were rough.
Yeah,
Underworld, they were just walking around in whatever clothes they still had on once they changed back.
Well, see, okay, so that takes us into the next space, which is zombies, because I don't know what it is about zombies that makes me not interested or not want to know. Like,
when did zombies take off as a genre?
I want to say
there was a
80s.
movie.
It was in the 80s.
But there was a movie, an old zombies. There was an old zombies movie back when I was a kid.
Just curious where even before the movies, like where that fascination ever even came
And it was
from.
the same. You know what?
True.
What really freaked me out was The Fly, but with Vincent Price.
I'd have to watch that one. I don't think I've seen The Fly.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But
I watched that
zombie
one. It was
movies-
good, black and white.
Yeah,
Black
and it
white.
was and it only went to color when they killed him. Like when they tried to kill him.
didn't
Oh,
realize
so they
that.
had color, but they chose to do a black and white.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But zombies, there's a Attack of the Killer Zombies or something that was back
It was
in the
not. It was also Night of the Living Dead was in the 60s, and then they remade it in the 80s.
And I know our
they call,
listeners-
actually they called the one I was talking about was called The Return of the Living Dead. So it was a
Okay.
sequel.
Oh, look!
That
look
came
at
out in 1985. So
Oh,
I
they
was-
with
I
you
was
right
8.
now, Ahman. The text line is with you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, couple of things.
What's up?
They said upcoming movies, Blade.
Yep. Oh, I'm excited
Right,
about that.
right.
I've seen the
And that's
trailer.
not that bad. That's not a horror. I mean, it's horror because of Blade being a vampire, but it's not.
I label that more of a thriller.
Yeah, it's thriller, action, obviously comic book action.
Texter says, I'm all about the slow burn movies. Batman Begins, No Country for Men, V for Vendetta, There Will Be Blood.
Oof.
Yes, all of those exceptionally well written.
Yes, very well.
Uh,
Country, No Country for Old Men. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Timmy says,
When you write a character that's walking around with a cattle prod
bro,
as their weapon,
like you went through some stuff. Like you went like that. That's not even like that's beyond random.
right? You're just like, oh, this will handle the job right away.
We getting everybody.
We're
I'm
getting
getting-
everybody.
We getting body.
I'm not missing the kill shot.
We get. He
I
says,
was like, oh my goodness.
Ghost Ship and Darkness Falls.
I got Darkness. I got those on DVD.
Jeepers Creepers.
The
Jeepers
first-
Creepers
yeah.
and
The la-
Pumpkinhead.
And please, yes. Oh,
Pumpkinhead.
do not fall for the Jeepers Creepers that's on Hulu right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is a well-dressed imposter of the movie franchise.
Yeah.
It's,
Really?
it's called Jeepers Creepers. Hold on, let me look it up here. But me and my wife sat down and watched it, and it's called Reborn.
Okay.
It was came out in 22.
Different directors, not
I'm assuming this, and it just was not like they had the look of the monster, the creeper.
mm-hmm.
They had the look, and then look, I'm looking on reviews right now, 1.2.
Okay.
That's why I say
Imposter.
it was like getting a pair of Nikes, and they the old Stadias
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, they had.
You're like, wait a minute, that ain't a jump, man.
They had Mike on the back.
Right? They had Mike on the back, and he missed the dunk.
Right,
You know?
right.
It's like no. So that one was just bad from the actual look of the monster to the writing to the writing and which is the dialogue and this the timing of things, and it was just you knew stuff was about to happen. It wasn't just like, oh my God, that's so now that. So it just wasn't keeping you on your edge of the seat. You just kind of knew it's like, I'm glad I got this popcorn. Keep me entertained right now. It's like that was-
Rosemary's Baby.
So those ones, so that was like my mom would talk about those movies.
Oh,
But
that was the one that the whole country
but
saw.
I
Rosemary's
remember
Baby. 'Cause
once-
there's 3 channels, and when it was
Yep.
on, you watched.
Yep.
Man, that's a crazy. I wish I was somewhat part of that era because back in the day when you guys watched a TV or a movie, you guys watched that together.
The whole
Correct.
country.
It wasn't what they call appointment television now.
One TV in the house, you got to watch one thing.
Yep.
And everybody watched it together. And then prime time on a Saturday night, they would throw on Rosemary's Baby.
Or a Thursday night.
Yep, on Rosemary's Baby. And it was a lock.
And see what they did with movies like that. So between Rosemary's Baby, Amityville Horror, between those 60, 70, 80, early 80 films.
Yeah.
The special effects, you had to be very, very creative. They were so creative. And like this messed me up with Amityville Horror, right? Probably like 20, this was like 06. So kids are little, but they're gone. My wife is gone. It's just me and my 2 dogs. And so I posed this challenge to my intro to sports media class. I gotta get it right before I can actually give it to them as like extra credit thing. But I would challenge anyone to do this during this month of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Pick either Amityville Horror or any movie that you feel that's the scariest movie you heard about, and you go. So watch it, but you wait till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You turn out all the lights in the house, and you watch it alone, or maybe one other person at the most. One other person. So solo or 2. Midnight, Amityville Horror, or the movie that you feel that is going to mess me up.
We
It
need
messed me up.
Ahman's like scary movie of the night for the rest of the month.
Or I could do. I've been doing that. If you follow me on social media right now,
Yeah.
if you follow me on social media, I've been posting. So tonight, like I said, it's old school night, so I'm gonna probably do Fright Night.
Okay.
For my vampire movie tonight. Last night was No One Will Save You. It was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Second night was I go to my social media. Follow me on Instagram. Ahman Green 30.
Uh-huh.
And
I've got 2 for you that we haven't talked about yet. One of them scarred me in a way that I wasn't sure I was prepared to.
We do got to go to break pretty soon.
Yeah.
So unless you want to save it for the next
Well,
one.
I'll give him time to think about it.
Okay.
But Cape Fear.
Yeah, that was psychological.
Right. That
Yep.
I love
Robert
that.
De Niro.
Right.
Yep.
That through that. The other one that got me. Signs.
Oh, we got to go to break. Because if I could talk about that for another half hour.
Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go to break here, and we'll have more of the show up next.
Leaves are falling and the temperatures are cooling down. But don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Leagues are underway with winter leagues beginning on November 27th. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at Double Eagle Golf.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com. Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Attack, which is an exciting pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. Attack can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Ahman Green Show. I am Harrison running the ones and twos. We got Ahman DP in studio here with us. We got a little bit of time here left. Where do you want to go with it? We want to keep going on these horror movies? I mean, the text line's been on fire. There's so many of these I completely forgot about.
I mean, what I tell people now, like I said, me and my daughters, Sports Center this thing. We'll Stephen A. these movies on people, right?
Yep.
I'm to a point where I will watch a movie. I'm trying to hold up. I was trying to get my mindset right. I got thrown off. It'll pop. You know what? It'll pop. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah.
I was so excited about talking about it.
Well,
it'll come back.
Oh, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Signs.
Yep. So Invasion of the Body Snatchers still being rated on IMDb 7.4 out of 10. And this is 1978. This is a year after Star Wars was released. So like I mentioned, this was being filmed at the same time as Star Wars. So you got George Lucas is the king of kings. He's the guy right now for special effects. Once Star Wars dropped, we've seen it in so many different ways. If you haven't seen the movie yourself, that 70s show when they had the episode of Star Wars and how they reacted to the movie and how people actually react. I wish I was a teenager then to react to that in theaters. It would have been amazing. So having this a year later for the special, I mean, Leonard Nimoy's in this. I didn't realize that. Wow, I'm watching a little preview right now on my computer.
This is where you folks today lose out. Right. Because we had to concede.
Solid acting.
We had to concede. One of the best actors on the planet were in these horror movies. And the best writers were in. Remember, there's
no special effects.
There wasn't
CGI,
this whole thing of
like
internet creators and all that.
Yep.
But we had to concede something to watch horror movies. We had to leave the house and go to a dark theater, which was usually drive-in in the dark and try to like oh my goodness, there's like if they want movies, if they want this movie theater to be packed, take all of these movies and show them for the month of October at night. We might just watch.
That'd be awesome.
Marcus is doing it. They actually we need to get a deal with them.
Yeah.
Because they did a Halloween pack of 5 movies of the ones that just released into theaters. The Nun 2. Let me go to my app and y'all could talk.
Yeah, the Nun 2. I'm a lot like your wife on that one, where I got that Catholic background.
Like,
and
you don't want none of that, huh?
Well, it puts me in a weird spot.
Okay, you got the Nun 2 over there, right across the street. The Exorcist Believer, so the sequel is actually the sequel to the original.
And you're in the dark. Like, right. They're only showing these at night.
Right. Haunting in Venice, which is more. It starts off as that, but it's like more of a detective movie. Yeah. So it's suspense. And then they have another M. Night Shyamalan one called It Lives Inside. Oh, no, Jordan Peele one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The other all-star right now for horror movies, Jordan Peele, It Lives Inside. So you have those as a bundle. You pay $40, you can see 5 films, basically.
That's a great deal.
Right. All in. And let me buy a card for all the popcorn and soda I can get. And I mean, I'm just going to live like. And that's when we used to take friends. It was a gang of 10.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd get a whole row and just lose our mind.
Have fun.
Right? And you knew what got everybody.
Yeah.
So it was always fun. And then having to leave the theater and then regain your cool to walk on the street.
Yeah, if you just didn't scream like like a baby,
right?
In
And
the
this was
theater.
us. Like we would have to walk home a mile in the dark
Oh, I didn't have that.
through alleys to get
That'll make
home.
it worse.
Oh, but that's just it.
You're
That's-
shook from the time you left the theater to the time you hopefully make it.
Oh.
You're in your head like, man, I hope I make it home.
And even
I'd
when you
walk around
got
the block. I'm
home,
not cutting
even when
alleys.
you got home, you still wasn't. He was like, "Listen, y'all gonna have to just deal with me tonight."
Let me see here. I got to give a shout out to some of these current horror.
While you're looking that up, that alien movie with the white owl, I forget the name of that one. That one messed me up when I was younger.
The Fourth
It's
Kind.
Fourth Kind. That
The
one
fourth, hey man,
messed me up for a long time growing
I
up.
could agree with you that it had me on point, but it was this one's based on true events. So they didn't do like Blair Witch. They didn't say, oh, this was real. This was something that really happened, but find out the dang actresses and writers are on Good Morning America. So what they did, they took all the film they researched up in Alaska, all the victims of any alien abduction. They interviewed them. If they had footage they found it and put it in the movie. So they did a reenactment with Mila Jovovich, Resident Evil actress.
Yep.
I say, okay. I say it's not the first two Resident Evils bomb, but the after great. I mean, good. The ones after that, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7, nah. But Mila Jovovich as the psychiatrist with Fourth Kind. So like I said, they set it up. They got research. They did their research.
Yeah,
and then
they have the footage side by side, like you said.
Then they did the real footage and then the actual footage, the acting footage and then the actual footage. And that part right there, that's what I'm like, that's what you do if you say based on true events. Have actual footage and then put it side by side. And man, I had the hair on my neck standing up. Watching the scene where the guy's like, he's still that the alien is like still in his head and he's falling off the couch. He's like trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
That scene right there, I was like, that's dope. I say that's real. You cannot imitate being that scared running from something. So new school movies out in the last, I say these are some last 3 to 5 years. We got Midsummer, psychological thriller, Messed Up, has the actress from Black Widow as one of the main actresses.
Yep.
It's a psychological thriller. It's something that goes down in Sweden. So when you go to Sweden, you might want to second guess being nice to somebody that comes up to you and say, hey, you need some help with something, in an accent. Might be careful. Hereditary.
Right.
A messed up one. Hereditary.
So many good ones.
Evil Dead Rise. Okay, this is the movie I saw in the spring when I first got back here to campus. And I looked it up after I watched the movie because I'm like, this movie had to have some record breaking of blood being used in a horror movie. And it did.
Really?
They had over 28,000 gallons of blood in this movie. It's a zombie paranormal movie where you got an evil spirit takes over the mom, and the mom, now the spirit is basically trying to eat her kids. But there's a scene at the end right before they kind of make it out, and they're in a parking garage, underground, under the building parking garage. And of course, when they're about to attack and they're trying to run and get away, instead of water coming off the sprinklers, there's basically all this 28,000 gallons of blood coming out. So I'm like, you know what? I love to be talking about that budget. How much money are we gonna spend on blood today?
All of it.
In this movie?
All of it.
Are we gonna put at least $1 million in? Because we got to break that record. I would love to be in that budget conversation.
All of it.
That'd be hilarious to know what that first initial number was. And he's like, no, we're thinking 28,000 gallons.
Yeah, 20. What's the cost of 30,000 gallons? We got to break that record. Let's go. Let's get it.
Oh, so good.
Oh my God. But yeah, those are some good movies. Get Out, obviously. Quiet Place, The Witch, Annihilation, any of the Conjurings, Candyman.
That's deep.
Absolutely. And before we get out here, what's the recommendation tonight, or the one that you're watching?
I'm watching old school nostalgic vampire Fright Night. Charlie
Fright Night.
Brewster. I'm checking him out. I know he's going to survive, but it's always good to see how unaware he is about his neighbor being a vampire. So there you go.
Absolutely. And again, follow Ahman Green at Ahman Green 30 if you want to keep in touch with his horror movie
Twitter
selection.
and Instagram.
Yep, absolutely. We're getting out of here. Up next, we'll have Don't Pun Hour.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango.